Today we'll be fusing glass. You'll need safety glasses, school glue. We're going to use wax paper and a toothpick. We have the glass cutters and glass breakers. We have the glass. And then we have a bunch of different types of glass that I'm going to walk you through. We're going to do a very basic pendant today. It's just going to be a 1-inch square. You're going to end up with one of these. We're going to start with a base color. Then you'll use these to design your center. And then we'll top it with a clear glass on top. So we're kind of just making a sandwich of 3 layers. We have some different pieces in there. These are glass. They're called stringers. Basically, you figure out how big you want them, and then you can snap them just like that. It's kind of like snapping spaghetti noodles, something like that. I also have some random, they're little circles that I had. Those could be put in there. This is dichroic glass. It's the metallic. That's what gives it the little iridescent or hologram kind of look. That's what that is. We're only going to be using 1 or 2 pieces of that in each piece because the dichroic glass is very expensive. We also have this glass. It's kind of paper thin, but it snaps just like that. You can break it into whatever pieces you want for your design. I also have some of these. They're like little rocks, and these are in the tubes. They just pop off like that. They're kind of just rock pieces of different colors that you can put in there as well. And then we also have big sheets of glass that you can cut if you wanted to. For what we're doing today, when we're done, I'll be gluing on one of these bales with the E6000 glue. So I'll come around and talk to you about how you want to do that, which way you want to display your piece when you're done. First thing I want to do is cover your table with newspaper. I'm using white paper today. It's just a little bit easier to see on camera. Safety glasses and your other tools. So I'm going to go ahead and put those on. And the sheets of glass like this is what we're going to use for your base. Some of them you can see through. Some of them you can't. So that's how they're going to be when they're done. Like this one you could kind of see through it, but I kind of like it with the other pieces in there. This one was a white piece, and then I put some other pieces on top of it with the glass on top. So it just kind of depends on what you want to do. Like I said, we're going to be doing 1-inch squares, so that's why I have out my cutting mat. It's easy to measure on here. So this is the glass cutter. You're going to be holding this at like a 45-degree angle, and it has this little groove for your thumb. You kind of hold it like this. I'm trying to hold it sideways so you can see. And you're going to push really hard into it, and then I'm going to just roll it in a straight line. Just one cut. You don't want to go back and forth, but you'll have kind of the ripping sound, and that's what you want to have happen. It's basically scoring the glass so that the cutters or the breakers will break your piece down the line you just drew. So I'm going to push on this, and I'm going to push straight down. If you could kind of hear that ripping, I kind of went crooked, but my piece will be crooked, but that's okay. You can see that line that it drew. So I'm going to take that, and the breakers have on one side there's a black line. Just line up that line with the line that you drew so it's in line with each other, and then I just squeeze it and it'll break my piece. And if I'd drawn a little bit straighter, it probably should have broke it all in one. There, I broke it in 2. It's okay. So we'll use those for decoration later. Then I have this piece. I need to cut it the other way, so I have my 1-inch square. So I have my line right here. Push on it like that. And I'm going to break it the other way. Okay, there might be some pieces in the back that are already square, and you are welcome to use those if you would like. That's fine. So this is going to be my base piece, and I have this one. It's already cut. That will be the top. So I just need to decide what my design is going to be in the middle. So I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to try. We'll see. It's kind of thin, so we'll see. But I kind of want to cut this in half so I have a long skinny piece like that. So I'm going to do the same thing again. So get my cutter started, push it. I'm holding it like a 45-degree angle. If it's not perfectly straight, I'm not too worried about that. Oh, that was pretty good. So I'm just going to kind of lay it out, deciding how I want my pieces to go on there. And then I'm actually going to glue them on. When I go to glue it on, you want to keep the glue towards the outside. So I didn't have anything pre-planned really for this. I should have. I'm going to put in I have some blue pieces because that bottom's purple. So you also have to kind of think about how that's going to look. So since we can see through this purple, you can see it on the white there. I kind of want to have some colors that'll go with it. But I guess it would be more important if it was underneath it. But since it's on top, not quite as important. But I think I'm going to do some blue in there. So I might do a couple of stripes of blue. And then I have that other piece in the middle. If you don't want them hanging over, make sure it's not hanging over. I'm actually going to work on the white so you can see it a little bit better. But we want to keep it on the paper so it's easy to clean up later because we don't want to have to mess with that. Okay, I have those pieces on there. And I might throw, I have some little white ones. It might be fun to do some lines. So I think I'm going to keep it with that. I'm going to put that on there. Okay, I think I'm going to do that because then you can still see some of the purple and I kind of like that. So I think I'm going to leave my piece like that, and then when I'm done, I'm going to put this on there and make sure it balances okay. You also want to make sure that if there's one side higher than the other that your glass is going to stay on because it could slide off and we don't really want that. So I have my school glue. It's on a piece of wax paper over here. And I'm just going to take a little bit on the Q-tip, and I'm going to put a little dot underneath these pieces. You want the glue to be as far to the edge as possible or as close to the edge because what happens is the glue creates a gas and the gas needs to escape. So I'm just going to put a little, try to put just a little bit. You don't want to put a ton on there either, just enough to hold it so I can get it in the kiln without it falling all over the place. And I might just put a little bit there. So this will help with, oh, sorry, I didn't finish. When the gas escapes, it creates air bubbles. So if you've ever seen a piece, and I should have had an example with like air bubbles in the top layer, that was probably from the glue. So we're trying to keep it to the outside there. So I'm gonna, oh, that wasn't even close. Might wipe that off. So these are pretty fun, kind of low stress. They all turn out pretty neat, so that's good. I like those kind of projects myself. I'm gonna push that over so it's in the rest, and then I have my white one, and it might just have a little bit of glue on this one edge, and that's okay. And I have this one, got the glue, and I'm gonna push him over there. Okay, so I have that, and then I really think that this top one right here is the only place where the top glass is going to touch, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on there because it looks like those blue pieces are not touching. So that's all I'm gonna do for my piece. So I have my pieces glued in there, and then I'm gonna let them set. There'll be a tray in the back and a place to put your name, so you put your piece on there and then your name. I take a picture of it and then I load it in the kiln in that same order so that you get your piece back. And that's all it is to fusing glass.